It's a quarter of the season in. Are you and Tony, when you sit down to make game plans, comfortable, made peace with the idea that, hey, we've got two quarterbacks who are going to play, and it may be that way, indefinitely?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, we're very comfortable with that. I don't feel like, that as coaches, you're always critical. Offensively, if you don't score a touchdown every time you get the ball. So I think whenever we go and watch the drives that didn't end with a touchdown or at least a field goal, there's not many of those where we're saying, well, it's the quarterback and we're inconsistent here, and man, we just don't have the chemistry. We haven't felt any of that. And I think, looking at those guys' stats, it's kind of eerie how similar those guys are. I think Trevor's had, and this isn't something that we're over there marking on the sideline, but I think Trevor's had 42 attempts and completed 62% for 424 yards. And I think Kelly has 44 attempts for 68% and 405 yards. So they're off right there by about 19 yards after 3 games. So for us, we look at it as an advantage. But as far as play calling and putting together game plans, even though people may say there's a huge difference, they are similar in what we're asking them to do and going out and executing it. And so right now we're good going with the way that we've been going. If something changes, and we'll adjust to that. But I look at it as a positive. And if just like Kelly went down, it looks like he's going to be fine. But if it had been something where he was going to be out for a while, at least you're not telling the second quarterback who hasn't taken many reps all year, all right, let's go, the season's yours. You got 2 guys ready. And I think we have that just about at every position offensively. So we like where we are right now with that.
Jeff, you mentioned the running game and the success it's having. And you also mentioned the blocking of the wide receivers on the perimeter. What about downfield blocking by your wide receivers? It seems like a lot of emphasis went on there, and it seems like it's starting to pay off with some of those big runs being keyed by those guys downfield.
Yeah, that's something that we talk about a lot as being a complete player, complete wideout, not just when the ball's thrown to you, but what are you doing away from the ball? And really a lot of it has to do with effort, being in position. And that's blocking is about 90% effort, about 10% technique. It's really desire and want to, and it's something that we're coaching all the time. I felt like we did a good job, and we had some key blocks and some long runs, but also there was some opportunities these guys will see this afternoon when they come back to watch the video where we could have done a better job. So that's something that you're always coaching. And it's what I tell them. It's just like, Lynn J having to step up there and have a big block versus that defensive end on Justin Ross's touchdown. Well, when we hand it off to that back and he's expecting you to block that corner, we need the same type of effort and desperation to get the job done. That's our way to kind of thank them for the dirty work that they have to do for us in the passing game.
Jacko was saying last night that part of the more explosive plays is you guys are just better, and he feels like better receiver, better tight end. Did you say through 3 games you feel like this receiver group's better than the one last year? Or did something?
Yeah, I think as a coach, you're this early in the year, I would say we are more productive than we've been, and I think a lot of it has to do with the discipline of guys being where they're supposed to be. We've had very few missed assignments, and then also just playing fast, attacking the ball, all the details. I'm pleased with where we are right now, throwing and catching, and I want to see that continue. And obviously the competition is going to get more difficult as we get into ACC play. And I think the overall message, and I think I told you all this in fall camp, is for the wide receivers, I wanted to really kind of transition from a group of guys with potential to a group of performers, and I feel like they've been performing and making those plays, and it's not just about getting off to a good start, it's really being able to do that at a consistent level all year long in each game. And the mentality that we want, I think each coach probably coaches this way and tells their guys the same thing, but the mentality I want our wideouts to feel and have is that if we make the plays, then we're going to win the game because of the plays that we made. And if we don't make the plays, then we may cost ourselves the game. Like, that's the mentality that I want our guys to have. And I felt like they've had that so far.
Coach, Georgia Tech is such a ball control offense. If they get it going, they can really limit your opportunities on offense. How does that affect your play calling, or does it at all?
Yeah, I think really what it affects is the being sure guys understand that when we get the ball, we have to make your possessions count. We usually haven't looked exactly, but somewhere between 3 and 5 less offensive series when you play Georgia Tech and what they do. It's not about going out there and pressing and making a big deal about it on the sidelines. And that's a big deal too. How you coach your guys on the sidelines in between series if they do have the ball for 7 minutes in the second quarter. You got to keep your guys ready to go, and you don't want to press. But really, it's just about execution. I think that's the biggest probably thing looking at the first 3 games that we're trying to clean up is just being a little more efficient in certain situations, and because you're not going to get a lot of opportunities when you're playing good teams, and you're really not going to get a lot of extra opportunities when you're playing a ball control team like Georgia Tech.
Obviously, heading to Atlanta, Trevor's going to be sort of in his neck of the woods again near home. How do you expect him to maybe manage some of his, I don't know if distractions is the right word, but just the outside is going to come out there?
Yeah, Trevor's the kind of guy, it just doesn't look like he gets rattled a whole lot. I'm sure he's probably spending a lot of the early week trying to talk to our players and get as many tickets as he can going back home. But I mean, that's one thing that we love about Trevor is he doesn't ever seem to get rattled. The moment's not too big for him. I mean, you think about I think at Texas A&M, that was the largest crowd that we'd ever played in front of in the history of Clemson football, and he goes out there and his first pass is a touchdown. I mean, that's just kind of who he is. So I wouldn't expect anything less from him this week playing in Atlanta.
I think Justin had only one play at Texas A&M. Have you seen enough from him? You feel like he's ready to go out and Georgia Tech and get more opportunities?
Yeah, that was a big challenge for him getting ready for this past week. I think as the season goes, really learning. There's no doubt, ability-wise, what he can do. But before you put it, you don't want to just put him out there in certain situations and say, hey, just for this play, go do this. You really want him to be able to go and execute the entire offense. And so I really felt like he was challenged last week in practice, getting ready, learning the game plan, knowing that it'd be a game where he'd get some opportunity. And then, hey, how you do with that opportunity will dictate how many reps and stuff you get. But there's no doubt. I mean, he's becoming one of our top playmakers on offense. He had no missed assignments in this last game. He ended up grading out as a winner. So that was definitely some positive steps for him. He's one of those guys in that room that makes us better offensively.
As you evaluate the strengths of this Georgia Tech defense, in your mind, what will be the most critical factors for them?
Yeah, I think as far as their strength, just watching the video, it's a new scheme because they got a new D coordinator. But they do play with great effort. That's one thing that you see. That's one thing that as a coach, you always notice. You're always coaching your guys on effort. First thing you notice when you watch 10 or 12 plays of a new opponent is their effort. And that's the one thing that stands out. It doesn't matter if it's a backside corner or a backside defensive end. They're running to the ball, playing to the whistle, and you got to stay on your blocks all the way through. And then I think they have probably the most experience